Okay, in this market, if you've got a seller who's willing to give you 6% concessions on FHA.
Explain that. What is a 6%?
Okay, so depending on the type of loan product you're doing, if you go FHA, the seller can contribute up to 6% of the sales price to the buyer's closing costs and prepaids.
Okay.
It can't go to their down payment. The buyer is always responsible for their down payment.
So what's a typical cost of closing costs? I
Well,
always understood it's 2%.
I guess that might. So a lot of it's going to depend on, like, you've got your closing costs and you've got your prepaids. Closing costs are going to be like your appraisal, your title work, which typically seller pays title work, your survey if the seller doesn't have one, the credit report, just all of those third-party fees that go into that. Then you've got your prepaids. Your prepaids are your taxes, insurance, and your days of interest from closing till the end of the month. And so those are actually you put those in there together, and that's all of everything. So I would say probably about maybe 8,000, 9,000 is that total right there. Closing costs themselves are probably going to be in the neighborhood of about, 4 to 5,000. Like the one I did today, I think the closing costs are right around, after the title policy's been paid and that comes out of there, you're probably looking at about 3,500, 4,000 for a $200,000 house. But then you've got, like I said, the prepaids, but that's all put in there together. But the seller can pay up to 6% of that on FHA, right?
6% of the home value.
Yes, of the sales price.
Okay.
But what you have to be careful of, and this is where, like, working with the realtor, it's important to understand these things too. Let's say that you've got a $200,000 sales price and the 6% exceeds how much the closing costs are, which they're probably going to, because 6% is a lot. In this situation, let's say 8,000 is what I use to cover all the closing costs and prepaids. There's 4,000 left, okay? I take that and I can then use it for a rate buy down. So I can do a permanent rate buy down to help get their payment lower.
That's interesting. I didn't know you could do that. Yeah, that's really
absolutely.
interesting.